All right, I'll be going through PS 6-3A. Okay, let's do the exercises first. Number 1, find the component form. The component form is clearly 1, 3. And then the magnitude is going to be square root of 1 squared plus 3 squared, which is 10 root 10. For number 2, or sorry, the second part, right? So part B. So it starts at -4, -1, and then it ends at 3, -1. So it looks like the components should be 7, 0. Which means that the magnitude is also 7. Let's do question 2. Alright, so this is just some vector addition. I don't think I really went over this during the lecture, but it's pretty straightforward. When we add vectors, their components add respectively. So u plus v here is going to be 3, 4, and u minus v is 1, -2. For part B, u plus v is 1, -9, and u minus v is -1, -5. Let's do question 3. The unit vector u in the direction of v is going to be v divided by its own magnitude, which is 3, so that's going to be 1, 0. And for 4, the vector has an initial point and a terminal point, which means that its components should be 3 minus -2, which is 5, -2 minus 1, which is -3, which is 5i minus 3j. Okay, let's do some of the problems. Number 1, finding a unit vector in this direction. Right, so remember the unit vector u is going to be equal to v divided by its own magnitude. So that is -5i plus 12j over the magnitude, which is 13. So that's -5 over 13i plus 12 over 13j. That's our answer. And then to verify the value of its magnitude, this should have a magnitude of 1 because it's a unit vector, right? But just to check that, we would do 5 over 13 squared plus 12 over 13 squared, square root of all of that. And that's equal to 25 over 169 plus 144 over 169, which is indeed equal to 1. Question 2, let's find the unit vector in this new direction. So that's going to be u equals, let's first find the magnitude since I don't think I can do that in my head. The magnitude of v is equal to -8 squared plus -4 squared. This is equal to 64 plus 16. So that's 80. And then 80 you can write as 16 times 5, so it's 4 root 5. Okay, square root of 80 is 4 root 5. I think that's correct. And so that means that this unit vector is equal to -8i minus 4j over 4 root 5. So after you simplify this, you're going to get -2 root 5 over 5i minus root 5 over 5j. And then for both of these questions, you're certainly allowed to put this in component form as well. But I'm not going to write it twice for everything. Okay, Then you would verify the magnitude here. So you would do 2 root 5 over 5 squared plus root 5 over 5 squared, which equals to 4/5 plus 1/5. Just one. Let's do question 3. Find a vector with magnitude 3 pointing in the same direction as u, which is -12, -5. So first we're going to want to find the unit vector that points in the same direction as u. And so that is going to be that's going to be 1 over 13 times -12, comma -5, because 13 is the magnitude of u. So that's -12 over 13, comma -5 over 13. And so if we want the vector v to point in the same direction as u with magnitude 3, we should simply multiply this vector, this unit vector, by 3. And so the answer is going to be -36 over 13, comma -15 over 13. Okay, next, find the magnitude and direction angle of this vector here. So, let's look at this here. Hopefully the wind isn't too loud. It's very windy and very cold. I should have brought a thicker jacket. Let's first find the magnitude. It's pretty straightforward. The magnitude is 6 squared plus 6 squared, or 6 squared plus -6 squared. So it's going to be 6 root 2. And here we actually have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So we just need to make a quick sketch, and then the angle should be fairly apparent. And so this points in this direction, right? So that's a 45-degree angle. So the answer is going to be -45 degrees, because we always want to measure those angles in a conventional counterclockwise direction. So this is either, you could do -45 degrees, you could also say 315 degrees. That also works. All right, number 5, find the magnitude and direction angle -5i plus 4j. So here the magnitude is equal to 5 squared plus 4 squared, square root of that. So that's square root 41. 25 plus 16 is 41. So that's the magnitude. And then the direction, okay, so remember how in class we talked about how if it's in quadrants 1 and 4, the angle for the direction is given by arctan y over x, right? But if it's in quadrants 2 or 3, the angle is going to be given by pi plus arctan, or pi, 180 is also fine, pi or 180 of arctan y over x. Right, that's because the arctan only has a range between -pi/2 to pi/2, so it's not going to be able to give us the angles in quadrants 2 and 3 unless we make that adjustment. And so, what we are going to do now is try to find y over x. Well, first we should find which quadrant this is in. So we have -5 plus 4. That's pointing in this direction. -5 plus 4 is in the second quadrant, so we're going to have to use this formula here. And so our answer is going to be theta equals 180 degrees plus arctan of y over x, which is -4/5. All right, number 6, write v in terms of I and j. If v is 3, magnitude of v is 3 and makes an angle of 150 with the x-axis. All right, so v is going to be the magnitude. The x component is always cosine, right? So 3 cosine 150, comma 3 sine 150. All right, this is going to look like this. V points in that direction, and this is 150 degrees. And so we would have to simplify this more, because 150 is a easy angle. And so we're going to get an answer of -3 root 3 over 2, because cosine 150 is -3 over 2, And then sine 150 is half, so the y component is 3/2. Or actually, the question asks for I and j, right? So I have to write this in terms of I and j. And lastly, number 7. Write u plus v in terms of I and j if u has a magnitude of 2 points in, okay? So let's first find u and v. U is going to be 2 cosine 80 degrees I plus 2 sine 80 degrees j. Okay, you don't even need to draw it really. You just need, as long as it's the angles are calculated with respect to the positive x-axis, you're always going to know that the x component is the magnitude times cosine, and the y component is magnitude times sine. So that's a rule we always know to follow. And v is going to be 3 cosine 190 plus 3 sine 190. Okay, and so to add u plus v, we simply add together the components that belong with each other, and then we're done. So we're going to have a parentheses. Don't forget the parentheses. Without it, it's wrong. So this is the x component, which is multiplied by I, and then this is the y component, which is multiplied by j. And those are not easy angles, so we don't need to simplify it, which means that we're done. And I hope this was helpful.